Hi and welcome to this Pilates Matwork class where we're using the Overball. In the classes I tend to use a green one, but this is the one I have at home. It's about 7 inches in diameter and I like to use mine with a little bit of give in it. The firmer the ball, the more challenging it is to balance on, especially when it's under the body. The flatter the ball, the more air the less air it has in it, the easier it is to balance on it. So I'm kind of going for somewhere between the two, a little bit of give but a little bit of challenge. So we're going to start off in relaxation position. Bring yourself down onto your back and into your starting position. Just keep your ball nearby for a moment and find a nice starting position. So make sure there's a little bit of space between your feet and between your knees. Think of your pelvis in its good alignment as you lie on your back. The natural curve for your lower back, the space for the neck, and if you need it, you've got head cushions to support the head. We're going to then lift your bum off the mat and pop the ball underneath your bottom. And place it right onto the tailbone, onto the sacrum, so that you feel the ball is in the middle of the body, in the middle of the bottom, not under your lower back and also not underneath or coming out towards your feet. Obviously, if you don't have a ball, you'll do the same exercises just without it. You'll still feel a really great benefit for the body. So let's start off with our north and south compass tilts. So we're thinking of the pelvis as your compass. The north is your belly button and the south is the pubic bone. So as we breathe out, we'll tilt the pelvis to the north, pressing the lower back down towards the mat. And as you breathe in, we tilt the pelvis to the south. So we're breathing out as we go north, breathing in to go south. And it's a nice gentle movement. You're just feeling how the lower back reacts to the movement of the pelvis. We're using the tummy muscles to gently draw the pelvis towards us as we come to the north, and then we're finding that length in the tummy as we tip to the south. Just one last one. Then come back to the center again, and this time we're going to go to the east and west ends of the compass. So one hip is east, the other is west, and we start by letting, say, the east side go lower and the left side come higher, and then we tip over to the west, lifting the east hip. So it's a gentle rock, this time from side to side. The challenge is to keep the legs relatively still, so the legs don't move sideways with the pelvis as the pelvis rotates. And here we're just finding a little bit of movement again in the lower back, this time in a rotation. We'll do 2 more to each side. And then when you've evened up, settle back onto the pelvis, come back to neutral position. Now we're going to come into our pelvic clocks. So rather than north, we're now thinking 12 o'clock, south is your 6, east is your 3 o'clock, west is your 9 o'clock. We're going to tilt the pelvis towards 12, then we rotate around to 3. We go down to 6, around to 9, and back to 12. We're going to go 4 times in the clockwise direction, just gently mobilizing through the pelvis, through the lower back. And after your 4th circle in your clockwise direction, we will go anti-clockwise. Just let your breath come and go as you do this exercise. Don't hold the breath and try and let go of any tension in the upper body. And then come back to the center again, let the pelvis settle back onto the ball. And from here, rather than mobilizing the pelvis, we're going to mobilize through the hips with an exercise called pelvic release. So we start off with a neutral pelvis, neutral spine. We're going to squeeze the bottom and push the hips straight up to the ceiling, and then come back down and rest on the ball. Breathe in as you squeeze and lift, and breathe out as you come back to rest. So it's a really nice exercise to let go of tension in the lower back, in the top of the hips. by actively contracting the muscles of the bottom and the lower back. When we let go of that contraction, it just helps us to release tension a little bit more easily, a little bit more quickly. We'll do 2 more sets. And then after your last set, let your pelvis settle back on top of the ball, or obviously onto the mat if you don't have the ball. We're going to come into a single knee fold exercise now, but we're going to add in a tilt of the pelvis. So we'll bring your right leg into a knee fold position and then tip the pelvis towards the north again, or back to 12 o'clock. Release the pelvis to neutral and then let the leg come down to rest. Left leg floats up, pelvis tilts to the north, release to neutral and release the foot to the floor. So you'll notice when the pelvis tilts, the thigh bone should get a little closer to your face because your thigh bone is being carried inside your hip. So it's a gentle movement, again a really nice low back release exercise to stretch and mobilise the bottom of the spine. And because we're carrying that extra weight of the thigh, it just gives us that little bit more load to carry, which actually feels quite nice in terms of mobilising the bottom of the spine. We're going to finish this last set. So finish with your left leg. And then release to neutral and again just settle the pelvis onto the mat or onto the ball. Now adjust the ball if you need to. We want to feel that we're really nicely balanced on the ball, stable on the ball. We're going to come into double knee folds, the exercise. So we start with both feet on the mat. We take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, the right leg floats up, still breathing out, the left leg comes up. Breathe in there, breathe out, lower the right foot, still breathing out, lower the left. And then you lead with the left leg the next time. Follow with the right, lower the left, lower the right. Now just to challenge yourself to check that you're not relying on your arms to balance you on the ball, you're going to hover the arms off the mat or maybe even above the chest. And then you do the same thing, trying to keep as steady as you can on top of the ball. Breathing out, using the out breath to connect through the center to help carry the load of those legs. You'll notice that the body has to work harder to bring up that second leg. So it's really important that we use the breath and the tummy to help us. We're going to finish with the left leg leading the movement. And then rest your feet, rest your arms, and we'll do one last exercise in this position. That's our single leg stretch prep. So we're going to bring your right leg back into a knee fold, hold onto the top of the right knee. Keep the elbows nice and wide and send the left leg forwards all the way out along the mat. Pull the right leg towards your chest, take a breath in. As you breathe out, draw the left leg all the way up, hold onto the left knee, breathe out, slide the right leg away. Breathe in, left knee to the chest. Breathe out, slide the leg up. Swap the legs. So we continue to alternate the legs, getting lovely deep hip flexion in the leg that hugs towards us, and we're getting lovely hip extension in the leg that comes away from us, so opening up that long hip. Last one to each leg. So in fact, I'm going to do 1.5 more. I'm going to finish with my left knee to my chest, and then I should have evened up. And then one at a time, the feet come back down to the mat. Lift your bottom off the ball, take it away, and just let the spine settle gently into the floor. If you were using the ball, you might feel that there's much more space now behind the lower back or behind the pelvis where the ball was. So next we're going to do a little bit of work for the legs inside the hips, a bit of knee circling. So what we want to use the ball for now, if you have it, is to rest your supporting leg onto it to challenge or to get any feedback if there's movement in the pelvis. So I'm just going to move myself a little further back just so I have the space to stretch my legs out, I'm going to place my left foot on, well, the heel of my left foot onto the ball. The leg is straight out in front of me. I'm going to lie down back onto the mat and bring my right leg into a knee fold position. So the knee is right above the hip, the foot is parallel to the mat. You can rest your hands onto the pelvis or you can keep them to your sides. And we're going to draw some circles of your knee on the ceiling. You come across the body, down, out to the side and back up. Breathe out to go across and down. Breathe in to go out and back up. So the pelvis should stay as level as possible here. We don't want to feel that the pelvis moves or that that left leg moves. We'll do one more in this direction. Getting some oiling of the joint. Some WD-40 into there. Let's go the other way around. Breathing out as you go away from the body and down. Breathing in to come across the body and back up. Just one last one in this direction. And then you can give the knee a little hug to the chest if that feels good. And rest your foot on the floor and let's swap the legs around. So now it's the right heel that rests onto the ball. Check that the leg is in line with your hip. Float the left leg up. Relax the upper body. Relax the tailbone. And then bring the leg across the body, down, out and up. Breathing out for half of the circle. Breathing in for the other half. Keeping that awareness into the right leg, that it stays as still as possible. The pelvis as level as possible. Last one in this direction. And then reversing. So we're working really deep into the center, imagining the ball was almost still under the pelvis to challenge our stability, but getting a really nice hip mobility, working the leg inside the hip in all angles. Last one to finish. And then again you could hug that knee or just rest the foot onto the floor. So now let's come into our climb a tree prep. We're going to do this again with the left foot stretched out and resting on the ball. The right leg comes back into a knee fold, hands around the back of the thigh, and we start off really simply, flexing the foot, we straighten the leg and we bend. Breathe out to stretch, breathe in to bend. So now we're mobilizing more into the knee, but also into the hip. A little bit of hip extension as we open the leg. Good. Now, let's keep this leg straight and come into climb a tree proper. So we nod the chin to the chest. We start to lift the head and we lift the spine and we walk the hands up the back of the leg, just as high as you can reach. And then walk your hands back down and rest your head onto the floor. Try to keep that leg up. Breathe out, nod the chin to the chest, lift the head, walk up the back of the leg, breathe in at the top, and breathe out as you come down. We'll do 2 more sets, and think about pressing that left heel down into the ball to give you opposition. So the left leg shouldn't get lighter as you bring yourself up the right leg. Last one. The tummy is helping you to lift and all the way back to rest. And then bend the right knee and rest your foot onto the mat, and we swap to the other side again. So we start off simply with the climb a tree prep. So right leg is relaxed, pelvis in neutral, hands around the back of the left thigh, breathe out to straighten and breathe in to bend. You'll notice the pelvis should stay in neutral, the spine should stay in neutral for this first preparation exercise. And then after this set, keep it straight, nod your chin to your chest, lift your head, walk yourself up the back of the left leg. Breathe in at the top, breathe out to walk back down. Breath in at the bottom, breathe out, head lifts, roll up. Breathe in to pause, and breathe out to roll down. We'll do 2 more sets. Look after the neck. Remember, it's the tummy that's lifting you, it's not so much the arms. The arms should be really light as you come up. When you finished your final set, rest that left knee, bring the foot back to the floor, release your foot off the ball, and give your head just a very gentle roll from side to side. So let's carry on. Let's take the ball, and this time we're going to place it between the inner thighs. If you don't have a ball, you could roll up a little towel and place that between your inner thighs, or you could grab a thick cushion and place it there. Make sure your feet are hip width apart and parallel. Make sure your head has support still if it needs it. Let your arms lengthen to your sides. So from here, we're going to start off with our spine curls. Nice and gentle, taking a breath in to prepare the body. Breathe out, tilt the pelvis towards the face, lift the bottom, lift the spine. Breathe in at the top and breathe out to roll back down. So at the moment we're just carrying the ball with us and we're not necessarily squeezing too tight. Good. Let's just do 1 more gentle spine curl. Just a very light hold on the ball. So now let's add in a thigh squeeze. So I want you to very actively squeeze your inner thighs onto the ball. At the moment the pelvis is still level. Then we tilt the pelvis, lift your bum, and bone by bone lift up through the spine. Squeezing the ball still at the top, and then gently rolling back down, bone by bone by bone, and releasing the squeeze. Breathe in at the bottom, breathe out, squeeze the ball, tilt the pelvis, lift the bottom, lift the spine. Breathe in at the top, and breathe out as you roll down. We'll do just 1 more set. Really active legs. Squeezing all the way up, still squeezing all the way down. Really feeling that work into the inner thighs, the pelvic floor. We'll do 3 more spine curls, this time adding in the arms. If you want to release the squeeze and just focus on the arms, that's fine. Otherwise, try and combine the squeeze with the arms. So we squeeze the ball, tilt the pelvis, lift the bum, lift the spine. Once you're up, keep squeezing, float the arms up and back. Reaching the arms back, the spine softens back into the floor, bone by bone by bone. Let the arms release, let the squeeze release. We'll do 2 more sets. Squeeze the ball, tilt and lift. Arms come up and back. Come down through the spine. Arms release, release the ball. 1 last set. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. And breathing in. When you finish there, release the ball just for a moment. Give your legs a little stretch out or a shake if you need to release those hamstrings. Then let's come back into, this time a double knee fold position, and the ball will place between the inner thighs. So legs come up 1 at a time. Ball between the inner thighs or maybe the knees. The feet will connect together. Arms out to your sides, palms turn up to the ceiling. We'll start off just gently rocking the pelvis from side to side. Breathing in as you go over and breathing out as you come back. Keeping the opposite shoulders anchored onto the floor. So not moving the upper back or the arms. We'll make this your last one to the left. Then give your knees a quick little hug. We're going to add in a little tilt for the pelvis. We're bringing the pelvis into a north tilt. So we start off in the same position, neutral pelvis, neutral spine. We tip the pelvis over to the right, rotate. Now bring it to the north, flexion. Release to neutral and come back to the center. Breathe in, go over to the left. Breathe out to tilt. Breathe in to release. Breathe out back to the center. We'll just do one more to each side. These are a lot more challenging to engage the abdominal muscles, to carry that weight through the legs. And when you're back to the center, release the ball, release your feet one at a time. Adjust your head cushions if you need to, and gently roll your head, your neck from side to side. Let go of any tension. Let's leave the ball to one side for a moment, and we're going to come into a curl-up exercise now, where we are also adding in toe taps for the legs. Now you obviously could keep your head down and just focus on the leg movement, or you can keep your legs down and just focus on the upper body movement. So we'll start off with your pelvis in neutral, feet hip width apart and parallel, neutral spine. You could take away your head cushion because now we're coming up into a curl up. So hands will float behind the head, interlace the fingers together, rest your head into your hands. Bring your legs one at a time into a double knee fold position. Keep space between the knees and the feet. Nod your chin to the chest, lift your head and roll forwards. So check the pelvis is still in neutral, upper body peeling off the mat. Rest your head into your hands, use your tummy to hold you there. Now we're going to stay in the curl up. We do a toe tap with the right leg, a toe tap with the left leg. Breathe out to lower, breathe in to lift back up. So all we're doing is maintaining the curl up as we work through the legs. Try and keep looking down to the pelvis, down to the tummy as you move your legs. Breathe out, breathe in. Last one to finish. And then rest your head down to the floor, arms to your sides, feet can come down, and again roll the head gently from side to side. Let go of any tension in your neck. Then let's come back up again, hands behind the head, back into a double knee fold position. This time we're going to add in an oblique twist, so we're rotating the upper body from side to side. So first we come into the curl up. So as you do your oblique twist to the left, you toe tap to the right and you come back up. Twist to the right, toe tap to the left. Breathe out, breathe in. Breathe out, breathe in. So you're curling forwards and to the side. Really feeling that work diagonally across the body. Shoulder to opposite hip. Last one to each side. And then rest the head, rest the feet, rest your arms. And give your head a gentle roll from side to side. That really feels the burn. Okay, so let's pop the head cushions back under the heads. Let's bring the arms to the sides and feet just back into a nice comfortable position. We're going to do 3 last exercises. The 100 stage 1, and then we'll take that into the hundreds, and then we'll finish off with a hip roll. So we're nearly done with this workout on our back for the moment. We could use the ball for the hundreds and for the last exercise, but for now, let's just focus on the breath. So you could keep your arms relaxing to your sides, or you can rest your hands onto the front of the rib cage, or indeed the sides of the rib cage. And we're holding the very base of the rib cage, where it just about joins the sides of the body and the hips. So it's all about deep lateral breathing. So as you breathe in, you want to feel that your rib cage expands outwards and backwards. And as you breathe out, you want to feel the rib cage narrow and funnel, get smaller and tighter. So you breathe in deep and wide. And you breathe out, feel everything contract and narrow. We're going to breathe in through the nose and we breathe out through the mouth. And then it's 5 counts for 1 breath in and 5 counts for 1 breath out. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. And out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. And out, 2, 3, 4, 5. One last one. Now let your arms, if they weren't already, lengthening to your sides. Bring them down to the mat and make them lovely and long. Float your arms just off the floor and let's add in some beats of the arms for the breaths. So the arms go up and down 5 times for 1 breath in and 5 times for 1 breath out. One more set. Now we add in the full workout. So the 100 stage 2, you can leave your feet on the mat and just bring your upper body into the curl up with the arm beats. The 100 stage 3, we're working in a double knee fold position, legs together, feet together. The 100 stage 4, we're working with long legs. So let's start off with your arms to your sides. If you want to bring your feet up into double knee fold, do that now. Otherwise, leave your feet where they are. If you're coming to stage 4, don't yet straighten the legs. Let's first come into our curl up. So we're going to nod the chin to the head, lift your head, roll forwards, let your arms hover, look down your body to your pelvis. If you now want to straighten your legs, go for it. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can bend your knees if that's not easier, or if you want to stay there. If you prefer, keep your feet on the mat to do the same exercise. So just working in a position that you feel is good for your body. 2 more sets of 10. Last one. Bend your knees, rest your head, rest your feet and your arms, and roll your head very gently from side to side, letting go of any tension in your neck. Last but not least, find your ball again, place the ball between your knees, connect your feet together on the mat, open your arms a little wider to your sides. We're going to finish with a hip roll and a leg reach, which is really nice just to lengthen the sides of the body. So we'll take a breath in. As you breathe out, roll to the right. Breathe in, lengthen that left leg at the knee. Squeeze the ball together as you come back, breathing out. Breathe in, bend the knee. Breathe out, roll to the left. Breathe in, extend the right knee at the leg at the knee. Breathe out, roll back. Breathe in to bend. So we roll, we extend, we roll back, and we bend. Breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. Let's do 2 more to each side. Keeping the backs of the shoulders really anchored to the mat. Squeezing that ball between the knees. Try not to lose that grip. Obviously, if the ball moves around, you can reposition it. Last one to each side. Just about to lose my ball. Last one to the left. Bend the knee, release the ball. You can give your knees a little hug to your chest if you want, just to release through the lower back. Or some of you might prefer to stretch the legs out and stretch the arms out, and to breathe into the tummy to release those muscles you've been working. finished that workout on our backs. I'll leave you there, and I look forward to seeing you in a moment to finish off the sequence, and we're going to start off next on our tummies. Well done. Bye for now.